Hi, today's devotional is actually going to be a second part of a gambling devotional we did a few weeks ago, and I just recently preached on 2 days ago, and I just want to do a quick follow-up on a couple of some of the gray areas that we all might struggle with. Let me just review real quickly the verse that I've looked at with gambling. There is no clear-cut verse in the Bible that talks about gambling, but I think the one that's closest comes from Proverbs 13:11, which says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." And I've made 3 points why I think gambling is not something that Christians should participate in. The first one is that it does undermine the value of hard work. The second is that the social costs from gambling are very clearly negative for a community in every single way. And then third, it does not glorify God, because God is the one who gives us the resources we have, the money and so forth. And so when we gamble God's resources, it simply does not glorify God. Well, one of the questions that's come up is, well, what about some of those gray areas, such as raffles and bingo and the lottery and so forth? And I would say that all of them are just that. They're kind of gray. They don't tend to fit in the same category as classic gambling at a casino or a slot machine. Nevertheless, there is an element of chance that's associated with each of them. Still, I would suggest that all of them are gray enough that would be left up to one's own conscience. And I'll just give you a couple of my own insights on those. For example, raffles that you see often at, say, school events or organizations in town will have raffles as a fundraiser. To me, those don't strike me as hardcore gambling. You're typically paying for a ticket or something like that with the intent of making a contribution towards that particular organization or whatever the event might be. So I don't see that as pure gambling myself, but again, use your own conscience on that. Also, like office pools that various people will have, especially coming up in about a month here or so when we have the NCAA basketball tournament going on. I think some of those, use your own discretion on those as well. Those tend to be a little bit more community-oriented and fun, organized stuff, and not necessarily about purely making a profit. They also don't seem to be addictive activities. It's not like you're going to do an office pool every single day of your life and lose your house and so forth. But again, one should use their own discretion on that. Bingo kind of fits in the same category. Often, bingo games are, in a sense, contributions to an organization of one reason, for one reason or another. And they're not the kind of things that can become too addictive. At the same time, lots of people play too much bingo, and they're hoping to win money, and that undermines, again, the value of hard work and all the other things that kind of go into it. And then finally, the lottery that we have here in the state of Wisconsin, which at the end of the day goes to reducing property taxes. At least part of it goes to reducing property taxes. The lottery is, to me, it seems a little closer to the classic example of gambling, where there's no primary benefit to a community organization. There's no sense of making a contribution to anything. It's just simply spending some money, and sometimes a lot of money, hoping that one might get a lot of money and therefore not have to work and so forth. So it seems to me a lottery is a little bit closer to classic gambling. Casinos, however, slot machines, the classic examples of gambling, those are the kinds of things that can become so addictive, have proven to become so addictive, and can cost us so much money and our lives for that matter as well. So again, there are some gray areas. I would encourage you to use your conscience, your judgment, your own discretion on those. But at the end of the day, gambling is not something that glorifies God, and the default position, I think, would be to just avoid them altogether. Thank you.